All right. What do we have here? It's continuing to be over for us. Nothing ever happens, bros. Something is happening, bros. Bros, something might be happening. What we got here? Now, this is just like one random report, but what? Netanyahu and Trump, I believe they had a phone call. They spoke in coordinated positions and moves in preparations for the U.S. military's entry into the war. I mean, we do know that there was a carrier group that was moved there not too long ago, right? The carrier group, the USS Nimitz, was moved into the region. USA sends aircraft carrier from South China Sea to Middle East as conflict between Israel and Iran grows. So we got a fucking carrier group, which is essentially just like a miniaturized fucking army like fleet of aircraft. What each carrier group? What? Fucking one of these aircraft carriers can carry like a couple, maybe not a couple hundred aircraft, a couple dozen aircraft. You know, the various fucking things. So that's cool, and they're gonna do a bunch of fucking bombing campaigns. So that's cool, fantastic, epic. U.S. Navy is sending a second carrier strike group. Oh, there's two carrier strike groups. How many fucking carriers does the U.S. have? I think they have like 17, right? Number of carriers by country. Sure. How much does the U.S. have? Got 11. Well, that's what you get. You're gonna learn why America doesn't have any fucking health care. That's like the joke, right? God, dude. That's great. I mean, none of them are like the giant like nuclear powered carriers, right? I think the Nimitz is like one of the older carriers. I think it's about to be retired if I recall correctly. But there's also like a lot of smaller carriers. It depends on like what they mean by carriers, but whatever. That's very cool. Yeah. You know, somehow there's still 11 aircraft carriers, but somehow Biden has like no military spending and it's weak or whatever. It doesn't matter. What the U.S. military is sending a second carrier group to the Middle East. Very cool. The aircraft carrier USS Nimitz, along with its 9 air squadrons. What? So that's like an air squadron's probably like 3 to 4 craft. So probably 36 aircraft, something like that. Couple dozen, like I was saying. Very cool. And an escort force, including 5 destroyers, is leaving the South China Sea to join the USS Carl Vinson strike group in the Arabian Sea, according to multiple media reports. The aging nuclear-powered vessel is part of a wider buildup of firepower that has seen dozens of Air Force refueling planes transfer to Europe. Yeah, that's another thing that's also going on, right? Is all the Air Force refueling planes. A lot of them are being transferred over to Europe, right? Look at this. These are a bunch of Air Force refueling tankers. And this isn't just like, this isn't just an America exclusive thing. I think it's also some European countries are also sending them as well. So that's pretty cool. Close to 20 U.S. Air Force KC-135 and KC-46 aerial refueling tankers lifted off this morning from air bases across Europe, heading in the direction of the Middle East, with most of the tankers appearing to be towing fighter aircraft, likely including F-15s, F-16s, F-22s, and F-35s, all moving towards U.S. Central Command, or CENTCOM. Very, very, very cool. So that's fun. Lovely. We're moving a bunch of assets to the Middle East. I wonder why the U.S. might be doing that. Same with some Europeans. You know. Listen, it can't be anything to do with my heckin' anti-war Reno, Epic Reno, President Reno. It couldn't be anything to do with that. Transfer to Europe. 2 destroyers in the Mediterranean move closer to Israel and military families at U.S. bases in the Middle East, given permission to fly home for their safety. More than 200 people in Iran and more than 20 in Israel have been killed by airstrikes so far after Israel launched a surprise campaign against its longtime regional rivals, military leadership, and nuclear facility. Well, you know. Oh yeah, they'll spin up something, okay? Although honestly, like, the probably like super hardcore Trump fans will spin up something. Not the people who are probably like genuine believers. Like for example, Marjorie Taylor Greene has come out against this. There are actual sort of faction of anti like war isolationist Republicans that are against this. You know, Tucker Carlson and Marjorie Taylor Greene, for example. Of course, they're like fine with like military crackdowns on the protests, so it very much rings hollow. But yeah, you know. Oh yeah, Nick Fuentes as well. Throw him in there as well. He was also for the crackdowns and the fucking anti-ICE protests and shit like that. You know. Yeah, they're not anti-war. They're not anti-civil war. They're just like, why are we bombing Iran? I don't understand why we're doing that. That's really about it though. President Donald Trump has given mixed messages in public about the crisis. Says he thinks it's time for a deal, but that the two countries may have to fight it out first. Yeah, this is great, fantastic. Now is really not the time to be fucking whiff waffling on shit like this, but you know, Pete Hegseth said on Monday he ordered deployment of additional defensive capabilities to the Middle East. Sure, man. Hegseth did not disclose what's being said there. I wonder if it's gonna be. Maybe he sent it over Signal or something. You know, you never know. Leak Hegseth, of course. But Reuters was the first to report earlier on Monday a deployment of a large number of U.S. military refueling craft. Protecting U.S. forces are our top priority, and these deployments intended to enhance our defensive posture. Sure, man. Defensive posture. Helping the fucking Israelis get a fucking nuke. Sure, man. Totally. According to reports, Trump has grown more supportive of Israel's strikes over the past few days. Keep in mind, this was literally the exact same shit that happened with Syria. There's a Sarcasmatron video about this. Very good video. Talking about Trump's whiff-waffling position on Syria, saying that, oh, well, we really should not be going into Syria. I don't think it's a good idea. And then saying, like, we need to invade Syria in order to get the oil and to stop ISIS. And then saying, like, well, actually, I think we have to pull out. We got the oil. It's time for us to pull out. And then he was just like, well, ISIS is coming back, so we now have to go back into Syria. Very, very whiff-waffly. Similar behavior here. Very, very similar behavior. So he's gone more supportive of Israeli strikes, but has also rejected an Israeli plan to assassinate Ali Khamenei, who's the supreme leader of Iran. On Monday evening, he urged everyone to immediately evacuate Tehran and reiterated that Iran should have signed a nuclear deal with the United States. Again, city filled with a couple million people, but it's like 10 million, 9 million, 8 million, 8 to 10 million people living in Tehran. Yeah, dude. They can evacuate that in like 3 hours or something. Totally. Very cool. And again, the deal was a nothing burger. It was a nothing burger. Basically, like, Trump's whole deal was just like, okay, Iran, what I want you to do for me is stop enriching uranium. It's like, okay, sure. Like to what extent? Well, we don't want you to enrich any uranium, even for civilian purposes. None at all. It's like, okay, sure. What are you going to give us? Oh, nothing. Just don't do it. Smile. And it's just like, that's not a deal. That's not how you make deals. It's like, okay, well, get bombed, I guess. It's just like, all right, very cool. Fantastic. Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon. I said it over and over again. Everyone should immediately evacuate Tehran. So that was the first initial threat. So that's cool. All right, who even knows it's a fucking threat? Whatever. The strikes come after months of ironclad support by Trump for Israel's brutal conduct in Gaza, including by using the U.S. to veto in the United Nations to reject a resolution calling for a permanent ceasefire. Israeli officials have claimed they were forced to act because it believes Iran is closer to developing a nuclear weapon. Okay, there was a deal in place that was going to stop that, and that was stopping that. But you guys, quite literally, were the ones that convinced Trump, specifically Netanyahu, when he was talking to the UN in, well, 2015. That was what basically convinced him to tear up the fucking goddamn nuclear deal. So that's cool. Great. Fantastic. Very good, folks. First commissioned in 1975, the Nimitz is the Navy's oldest serving aircraft carrier. It's slated to retire in 2026. Well, would you look at that? Nimitz-class aircraft carriers are the biggest ships in the Navy, measuring almost 1,100 feet from bow to stern, capable of operating for 20 years continuously without refueling due to the onboard nuclear power plants. Very, very cool. Fantastic. Well, that's that. Why don't we talk about, like, what Trump has been saying here? So, you know, he's talking about,
unconditional surrender. You have to surrender, Iran. We know exactly where this so-called supreme leader is hiding. He's an easy target, but is safe there. We're not going to take him out. Kill! At least for now. Or at least not for now.
Again, he's just saying like random fucking shit, speaking out of both sides of his mouth. Like, what the fuck is he even saying? He's like,
we're gonna kill him, but we're not actually gonna do it. But we might kill him, but we could do it. But we're not actually gonna do it. But maybe we're gonna do it. But I don't know what we're gonna do. We're just gonna do something, guys. Something's gonna happen, guys. Let me tell you, folks. Something will happen.
Yeah, it's silly.
But we don't want missiles shot at civilians or American soldiers. Our patience is wearing thin. Thank you for your attention to this matter.
Someone definitely got in his fucking ear because he's been I don't even know. Is he even trying to like tone down the rhetoric? He's just like saying fucking random schizo shit. This is nothing. I know that when he was asked about this recently, especially at the G7, when he was asked about like, so what do you think is going on with like Israel and Iran? Like, are like something going on? What's up? Like they're attacking each other, and he said like,
I don't want to talk about it.
He definitely wanted to talk about it, but someone told him like, you really shouldn't fucking talk about it. Like, under every circumstance, do not fucking talk about that. And I guess again, Trump doesn't believe in anything. He'll just listen to the previous guy who got into his ear, and he decided not to go forward with it at all. So that's cool, fantastic, great, excellent. Like I said before, unserious, stupid, anything could just randomly fucking happen with these dumbasses. Who the fuck knows what could potentially happen? It's just some random shit could just potentially happen. Who the fuck knows? Very cool. This is also something that's been going on.
We now have complete and total control of the skies over Iran. Iran has good sky trackers and other defensive equipment, and plenty of it, but it doesn't compare to American-made, conceived, and manufactured stuff.
You mean weapons, bombs, capabilities?
No, just stuff.
Okay, very cool.
Nobody does it better than the good old USA.
Yeah, you're giving that to your, like, little, I don't know, guard dog puppy to be like, I don't know,
Israel. Just go out there and kill people or something, whatever.
Very cool. All because, like, you weren't getting anything on a deal where you basically said to Iran, like,
we want you to give us everything and you get nothing. That's all we want, Iran.
And it's just like, no, they're never gonna fucking accept that deal. It's just, it's the dumbest shit on the fucking planet, man. It really, really is. But, you know, let's, I don't know, a little bit of pageantry, I suppose. We got Lindsey Graham. What does Lindsey Graham, the arch-Zionist, have to say?
So we live in a world where you've got to confront problems. You want to avoid World War III? Learn the lessons from World War II. People in World War II appeased Hitler to the point that it got so much out of hand.
That is really fucking funny coming from the dude who is currently with the Trump administration who's trying to appease Putin in Ukraine. What the fuck are you talking about? What appeasement is Iran getting out of this? Like, what? They just lost the Assad regime in Syria, and a bunch of their other fucking proxies are getting fucking bombed and have been fucking destroyed. What are you fucking talking about? That's very fucking funny. Lindsey Graham, you are okay with appeasing Hitlers, okay? Fucking Benjamin Netanyahu, the current modern day Hitler, who is carrying out a fucking genocide currently with the Palestinians, and you are literally stumping for the fucking dude who's also running cover for fucking Putin and his actions in Ukraine. You know, you can make the argument that there's another fucking Hitler. Nice fucking meme, dude.
We had a world war and 60 million people got killed. So we live in a world where you pay now or you pay later. Let's stop this threat before he gets a nuclear weapon. Let's end this reign of terror.
Lindsay, which is a girl's name. My dude, literally, you are fucking supporting the guy who tore up the fucking Iran nuclear deal because all you fucking cared about was war with Iran because there wasn't a war that you ever fucking liked. And I'm telling you, if the US decides to invade Iran, it's going to be fucking completely disastrous. It's going to be 10 times worse, 100 times worse than Iraq and Afghanistan. just, another forever war. Very, very cool.
Do it now. It's not going to take 20 months, but I can't guarantee you your freedom and your safety unless we're willing to fight for it. I can guarantee you this. If we don't fight for our freedom, we will lose it.
It's just all fucking the same Iraq war fucking stupid rhetoric and bullshit. Again, this fucking war would be a complete fucking disaster. It'd be 10 times worse than the fucking shit that happened in Iraq and Afghanistan. Trillions upon trillions of more dollars would have to be spent. Millions of fucking more lives would be fucking lost. But, whatever. Like I said before, there wasn't a war that motherfucker, Lindsey Graham, has never fucking liked. And of course, hey, Republicans, whatever happened to being the fucking pro-peace fucking candidates? Sure, man, whatever. Do I think that Kamala Harris might have been fucking better on this fucking issue? Who knows? Who fucking cares, right? All we know is that this motherfucker, Donald Trump, is doing everything possible in order to fucking appease and titillate the fucking balls of fucking Benjamin Netanyahu. That's all that this stupid, dumbass motherfucker is really doing. That's who he really, really fucking cares about, is, sucking the balls of Bibi Netanyahu.